Development Pharmaceuticals in association with Higher Secondary Principals Forum.
Good morning, students. A hearty welcome to our English Language 1 class. It is such a pleasure and a privilege to teach you. I am indeed grateful to Prudent Media Channel for providing us with this platform for online education. Prudent Scholars, which is helping us to reach out to you right in the comfort and safety of your homes, teaching you the subjects and preparing you for the inevitable exams. Today, let us look at the non-textual syllabus, section C, grammar. In case you are wondering why this title of non-textual, may I remind you that our English 1 syllabus is divided into two clear parts, non-textual and textual. Let us do a brief recap of the non-textual syllabus topics that we have covered so far. Remember, each topic corresponds to the questions sequentially in the Goa Board exam question paper of English Language 1. The topics covered in the non-textual syllabus, beginning with section A, reading skills, comprehension, note making and summarizing. Then we come to section B, writing skills, notice and advertisement writing, report writing, which is school magazine and newspaper reports, letter writing and essay writing. Section C, grammar. We have covered modal auxiliaries and transformation of sentences. We have covered two topics so far, that's voice, active and passive, and remove the adverb to and use so, that. Today, we are taking up two more subtopics under the main topic of transformation of sentences, degrees of comparison and reported speech. Keep one thing in mind, that while transforming the sentence, the meaning of the sentence should not change. This rule is common to all subtopics that come under the main topic of transformation of sentences. Let us start with degrees of comparison. There are 3 degrees of comparison: positive, comparative and superlative. Let's start with the positive degree. This degree is the adjective itself. For example, you can take any adjective: tall, short, clever, healthy, beautiful, lovely, etc. A positive degree sentence contains a verbal sandwich. Imagine 2 identical looking slices of whatever, bread, maybe a bun, and a delicious stuffing in the middle. In a positive degree of comparison sentence, the adjective, the stuffing, is placed between a pair of the same word as. As, adjective, as. That's why I said the sentence contains a sandwich. Look at these examples. The first, he runs as fast as a deer. Second, there is no other sweet which is as popular as chocolate. And the third, no other garden is as pretty as this one. Look at the patterns of the sentences. Next, we come to the comparative degree. Comparative degree is when two or more things are compared to one another, and one is more adjective than or less adjective than the other. A comparative degree sentence contains the word than. Please note the correct pronunciation, than. Spelling T-H-A-N. And the spelling of the adjective is modified, then spelt with ER, or the word more is placed before the adjective when comparing two things or two persons or two places, two nouns. Look at these examples now. The first, the coconut tree is taller than the date palm. Second, this picture is more or less beautiful than that one. And the third, drinking coconut water is healthier than drinking an artificially sweetened drink. Now we come to the third degree, that is the superlative degree. The superlative degree compares more than two things to show which has the greatest or the least degree of the quality, the adjective. Something, some place or some person is the biggest or the smallest at optimum level or at rock bottom. The sentence contains the word the, and the adjective spelling is modified and then is spelt with EST, or the word most is placed before the adjective. Look at these examples. The first, ice cream is the tastiest dessert. Second, my bag is the smallest of all bags on the shelf. And the third, the aerial view of Goa is the most beautiful of all sceneries. Now let's study these examples of all three degrees. It's the same sentence but expressed in the 3 degrees of comparison. We'll start with positive. No other tree in the park is as large as the banyan tree. Now the comparative. The banyan tree is larger than all the trees in the park. And the third, the superlative. The banyan tree is the largest of all the trees in the park. Let's look at the second example, starting with positive. There is no other boy in the class who is as athletic as Sohan. Now the comparative. Sohan is more athletic than any other boy in the class. And the third, the superlative. Sohan is the most athletic boy in the class. We are looking at the broader topic of transformation of sentences. We can use that little trick I taught you earlier. Do you remember those 3 little words? It means that. Say them. Then say the sentence according to the instruction given. So, it is possible to change the degree of comparison of an adjective in sentences, and it must be done, it can be done without changing the meaning of the sentence. Now, examine these sentences. I am giving you 2 more examples. The first, the positive degree, the grand total of other competitors is not as high as that of bridge. It means that if you are transforming it to the comparative degree, bridge's grand total is higher than that of other competitors. And if you are changing it to the superlative degree, it means that among the competitors, bridge's grand total is the highest. Apply the same rule to the next sentence. The positive, no other girl in the group is as happy as Sia. The comparative, Sia is happier than any other girl in the group. And the superlative, Sia is the happiest girl in the group. 2 more sentences just for practice. The positive, there is no other metal which is as useful as iron. Comparative, iron is more useful than any other metal. The superlative, iron is the most useful metal. And the 4th sentence, the positive, no other animal in the jungle can run as fast as the cheetah. The comparative, the cheetah runs faster than any other animal in the jungle. And the superlative, it means that among animals in the jungle, the cheetah runs the fastest. Now, may I remind you students that the 4 steps to learning a language are listening, understanding, reading, and then writing. You have done the first 3, now a little bit of the 4th. Here is a little writing work that you may find helpful, you should find helpful. Draw 4 columns, each on 2 pages, and go ahead. Write down the following adjectives, one below the other in the first column, leaving lines between not the adjectives but the groups of words. These groups are identified by the rule. Okay? Now listen. The first rule is add ER for comparative, add EST for superlative to the adjective. First is an example, sweet, sweeter, sweetest. Some more adjectives there, small, tall, bold, clever, kind, young, great. The rule is very easy. You can do that work by yourself. The second rule is to add R. Notice that the E is dropped from both comparative ending and superlative ending. Add R for comparative, ST for superlative. This is the list of adjectives. Of course, there will be more, but this is a list to start with. Brave, fine, white, large, able, noble, wise. The third rule, you know, there are some adjectives which end with Y. So what you must do is change Y to I and then add E-R-E-S-T. These are the examples: happy, easy, heavy, merry, healthy, wealthy. You can imagine what the comparative, the superlative look like, and then you must write it down. There's a fourth rule: double the last letter, then add, E-R-E-S-T. The adjectives are red, big, hot, thin, fat, sad. These are some examples. Now, there's a fifth rule. The rule is write more for comparative and most for superlative. Because you know, some adjectives do not take ER and EST. This is the list of adjectives: splendid, beautiful, difficult, industrious, courageous, learned, proper. Now, in this more or less comprehensive list of adjectives, of course there are many more, but as examples, these are exceptions. You have to learn them. Good or well. Then the comparative is better and the superlative is best. You can go on reading them. I will not tell you which is comparative, superlative. You will understand. The adjectives are in the beginning, and then of course the other two degrees of comparison. Bad or evil, worse, worst, little, less, least. Much is for quantity, more, most, many is for number, same, more, most. Then you have late, later, latest, old, older, oldest, or in some cases elder, eldest. Far, farther or further, farthest or furthest. In, inner, innermost. Please note, same for the other two. Up, upper, uppermost, and out, outer, outermost. So with that, we have come to the end of our degrees of comparison. You need a lot of writing work and reading work. It will round up your study of that topic. Now we will go to direct and indirect speech. Indirect speech, also known as reported speech. The exact words spoken by a speaker, written between quotation marks, make up what we call direct speech. This direct speech, written in a reported way, removing the quotation marks and using words like requested, informed, said, told, etc. There are many more words. I will give you the words later. Is called indirect or reported speech. Now here are examples, okay? Direct and indirect. I will read one after the other. Rama said. Please notice the punctuation marks. Comma, open inverted commas. I am very busy now. Watch out, those words are important. Close the quotation marks. In the indirect form of speech, this is how you have to write it. Rama said that he was very busy then. Now, if you notice, there are many changes, you know, the quotation marks have gone, that is true, the comma has gone, but Rama said, he did not ask or, you know, maybe he informed, but it's not really information, he's saying it. Now, the I, the pronoun I changes to he. The tense, am busy, changes to was busy, and now changes to then. Make a note of those small changes which are very important when you are transforming from direct to indirect speech. Of course, those steps are reversed if you are transforming from reported to direct speech. The second sentence, he said, I was sick yesterday. He informed that he had been sick the previous day or the day before. The third sentence, Subbu said, my master is writing letters right now. Subbu said that his master was writing letters just then. Right now has become just then. The fourth sentence, Peter said, I have passed the test. Now, you know, Peter won't just say it. Peter announced that he had passed the test. And the fifth sentence, sit down, boys, said the teacher. Now, please notice the teacher did not order, the teacher did not command, the teacher did not request. The teacher said, the teacher told the boys to sit down. When changing from direct to indirect speech, some words are replaced by other words and are rewritten as follows. I becomes he or she, am becomes was, now becomes then, shall becomes should, will becomes would, can becomes could, here becomes there, this becomes that, these becomes those, today becomes that day, tomorrow becomes the next day or the following day, yesterday becomes the previous day or the day before, last night becomes the previous night or the night before, and ago, long ago, becomes before. Use these words when transforming from direct to indirect or reported speech. There are many more words, students. I am giving you a few which are common. Of course, feel free to use any more words depending upon the context. Requested, informed, told, announced, asked, said, ordered, stated, urged, summoned, questioned, commanded, answered, apologized, suggested, demanded, inquired. You can write it with an E or with an I. Thanked, expressed, appreciated. You know, the list is endless, as I said earlier. Now, here are some sentences. The first example, the answer is provided. The rest you can do by yourselves. Change to indirect speech. The class monitor said, "Teacher, please do not read fast." Now, please notice that there is a word there, please. That's a clue. So, when there is please, you must say requested. Don't say said or told or commanded or ordered or anything like that. Say requested. The class monitor requested the teacher not to read fast. The second, the boy said to his father, "Wait for me until I come back." The third, "Please bring me a glass of water," said the patient to the nurse. The fourth, the student said, "Please, may I come in?" And the fifth, the principal said, "Tomorrow will be a holiday." Now this is another exercise. Rewrite using direct speech. The first sentence, Vijay asked Riya whether or if she had anything to say. Vijay said, "Riya, do you have anything to say?" So please note the punctuation mark. Yes, it's a question, so there is a question mark. The second, an old mouse questioned the little mice who among them would bell the cat. The third sentence, I requested Meena to lend me her pencil. Of course, when you are borrowing something, you must use that word. The fourth sentence, he ordered him to leave the room at that very moment. And the fifth sentence, the lady inquired if he was then quite well. And with that, students, we have come to the end, okay? The end of section C, grammar, non-textual topics of English language 1 for standard 12. Please remember one thing. The grammar topics for teaching are as many as any grammar textbook has. And teachers too are welcome to teach as many as you think fit or as many as you have time for. But for testing, there being 6 marks allotted to the question, only 6 topics are selected. For English Language 1 of Standard 12 of the Goa Board of Secondary and Higher Secondary Education, this is the requirement as of now. We have covered some of the topics. Keep revising all that you have learnt earlier. That's all. Thank you for your attention. Have a lovely day. Stay well. Stay safe. Thank you.
Prudent Scholars, powered by Lupin Pharmaceuticals.
अब आपकी सुरक्षा आपके हाथों में। ल्यूपी सेफ हैंड सैनिटाइजर, आपका और चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स का फर्स्ट लाइन ऑफ डिफेंस। अब आपकी सुरक्षा आपके हाथों में। ल्यूपी सेफ हैंड सैनिटाइजर, आपका और चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स का फर्स्ट लाइन ऑफ डिफेंस। अब आपकी सुरक्षा आपके हाथों में। ल्यूपी सेफ हैंड सैनिटाइजर, आपका और चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स का फर्स्ट लाइन ऑफ डिफेंस।